Hi, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Sophia Koganai. I'm the occupational therapy student working with TRIO for my doctoral capstone projects with first generation college students and their mental health. So this is our fifth workshop discussing the seven dimensions of wellness. This is going to be 5 out of 7. So today we're going to be going over intellectual wellness. So thank you so much for joining me. So our objectives for today are going to be defining intellectual wellness and its role in mental health, increasing awareness of common mental health issues in college, learning how intellectual wellness is going to impact first generation college students specifically, learning about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindsets, identifying ways to improve intellectual wellness, and lastly, identifying available mental health services on campus and how to access them. So first off, what is intellectual wellness? Intellectual wellness is growing intellectually, maintaining curiosity about all that there is to learn, having a commitment to lifelong learning, and responding positively to intellectual challenges. So life is always going to have new experiences, new opportunities, things that you don't know. So being able to really dive into the unknown and grow intellectually and increase your knowledge is all intellectual wellness. Valuing knowledge, having curiosity about things that you don't know, and mental stimulation are also included in this. It is really important to stimulate our minds as much as possible, so it's really important for this one. Applying information to make informed decisions and solve problems. So critical thinking skills falls into this dimension. You are all in college, so you are thinking all the time and you're learning all the time, but this isn't specific to academics only. This is, lifelong. This is things in your personal life, in your careers, in your families, in your different social circles. It bleeds into the different dimensions of wellness as well. And lastly, staying open to new ideas, experiences, and diverse perspectives. So having good intellectual wellness is important for socializing and having conversations with people who may have a different experience as you, with different perspectives. So all of that is included in this dimension. Okay, so understanding mental health. Intellectual wellness and mental health are very interconnected. And so knowing what mental health even is and what that looks like, what the signs are going to be, what the symptoms are, how it's going to impact you, how it would impact a friend or family member. It's all really important to know. So first off, mental health is emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It's going to affect how we think, how we feel, how you act, what decisions you're making, and how you cope with life. Life is always going to have some type of challenge at some point, and just knowing how to deal with that and cope with it is going to be really important. So we've mentioned this in the lecture, the first lecture video, but some common issues for students are anxiety, depression, and burnout. And it's really important to understand that mental health is exists on a spectrum. So it's not just you're healthy or unhealthy. It's not just you're mentally unwell or well. There is for sure a range, and everyone's mental health is going to look different. It's going to present differently. So um, the way that one person deals with and shows depression is going to look different than the next person. So it's important to know that there's just a variety of how this can present itself. So knowing and understanding mental health is really important because it's, again, like we mentioned, it's going to help cope with the stressors of life. That's inevitable. There's always going to be something to stress about. So being able to understand your mental health and know what you need is going to help um, address that. Being physically healthy. So we learned in the first workshop, physical wellness, that the mind and body are very connected. So your mental health is going to be impacted by your physical health and your physical wellness. Having good relationships. So again, thinking back to the social wellness, your mental health is going to affect your relationships. Having good, positive relationships, because if someone is having challenges with their mental health, that may lead them to isolate or not be able to communicate correctly, or not have the energy to want to go out, or just feeling like people don't like them or don't want them around, etc. There's just a lot that goes into that one. Having meaningful contributions to the community. So again, socially, if you're in a good mental health state, then you're in a better position to help the community out or just be a part of the community. And lastly, working productively. So being on a college campus, your entire job right now um, is to study and do homework and even working, have a part-time job on the side. Being able to be productive is something that mental health is going to directly impact. So if you're not feeling well, you may not be able to perform well. And just knowing what you need to get the help that you need. You need to know what the symptoms are. You need to know what signs you're looking for. Um, you need knowledge of what you need, and so that's what these workshops and lectures about. We have gone over what mental health looks like, what the signs are, what the symptoms are, what you can do, how to even figure out what it is that you need. That we've discussed that in previous workshops. Um, and just having a whole awareness of how to get the resources that you need to improve your mental health. Um, and just lastly, having health literacy. This is just having the knowledge of what health is, being able to seek help for your health, whether it's mental health or any other type of health, and being able to express it or teach it to someone else. So having good health literacy is going to help with your own mental health as well as those around you. Okay, so first generation and intellectual wellness. So intellectual wellness is going to be essential for first gen students due to their unique challenges. So we have gone over these unique challenges many times in the previous videos, but to name a few, navigating a new academic culture. You are coming onto this campus, it's a new culture. It could be different than the one that you have grown up with, that you've always known. So being able to know how to navigate that is under the domain of intellectual wellness, as well as financial strains, knowing how to um, spend money, save money, pay bills, getting a job, all of that, being able to balance, just have financial wellness even. Pressure to succeed academically or having fear of failure. This is something that many students are experiencing, especially first generation students who may be the first in their family to go to college, and so they have a lot of pressure to not drop out due to a number of reasons. Navigating unfamiliar academic environments. So again, just being new to this experience of college and not having a lot of familiar supports and not having someone to tell you how to do these things. Now you have to figure it out on your own and learn on your own. So having intellectual wellness is going to be really important. If you're lacking resources, so if you have limited information about college and what's available to you and what you should seek out, it's really important for things like that, as well as balancing all of life's demands. So a lot of first gen students, in addition to academics, um, are dealing with family. Maybe you live at home still and you have family responsibilities. Working part-time, many students are juggling many things and wearing many hats. So being able to time manage all of these falls into intellectual wellness, as well as students who lack of easily accessible social and intellectual support. So again, if your social circles aren't in a position to be able to help you, being able to know how to figure that out for yourself is going to be important. And lastly, mental health stigma. So this has come up so many times in almost every workshop and lecture. There is a huge stigma with mental health still, and having good intellectual wellness is going to help combat that. And we'll talk about that in a little bit further. Um, so developing intellectual wellness is going to have a positive impact on mental health. So there's many studies that show um, improving cognition, concentration, and memory are going to be really important for improving your mental health or having a positive impact. And as a student, you are spending your entire day studying, trying to concentrate in classes, trying to recall information for exams. So this is a really important piece. Promoting open-mindedness and new perspectives. There are many new people that you're meeting during your college experience, and every person is going to have a different experience and different perspective. So having an open mind is essential for being successful in not only college, but in the world. So having a closed mind is going to only limit you, and that's going to have a huge effect on your mental health. So having a sense of achievement and enhanced self-esteem. So the more intellectually aware you are, the more you can have different strategies in order to um, reduce stress and anxiety, and also building connections with other people. So if you think about the social dimensions of wellness that we had discussed, um, being able to know how to even socialize or where to seek out social circles, this will in turn have impacts on an individual's sense of belonging and having people around them that they connect well with. And so having good intellectual wellness, you're going to um, you will know how to find these things or where to look or who to ask. As well as experiencing a more stimulating life. So luckily everyone here, I think, is watching um, is in college, and so that already you're in a position where you are stimulating your mind every day. But again, it's not just academics, it's in your personal life. So just learning more about different topics in the world and what you like and what's out there, that's going to improve your mental health, and it's going to improve your quality of life as well. Building knowledge to empower help-seeking behaviors. This is a huge one because the whole basis of these presentations is that first-gen students are not seeking the help that they need and have a lot of avoiding behaviors for mental health services. So kind of knowing what it is that you need within yourself, and then building the knowledge in order to go find that and get what you need. And lastly, reducing stigma again through education and normalizing mental health. So the more that something is learned about and taught and discussed and is not so uh, negative, then you're again in a better position to improve your mental health because everyone is learning more about it. So the more you know, the better that you can that you'll be to deal with it. Okay, so we're going to be going over the growth mindset next. There's growth mindset and fixed mindsets. So the growth mindset is the core belief that our talents can be developed through practice. So this is going to heavily influence our thoughts and our behaviors for the growth mindset and the fixed mindsets. For the growth mindsets, these individuals have, they're less prone to mental health problems, and it can really be a good mentality to have in order to, have different strategies in place for stress relief, and it's going to really affect your motivation and there's a lot of resilience involved because the way that you're thinking is not so set in stone and fixed. Like there is a room for growth and improvement. So in this image, you can see the growth mindset saying things like failure is an opportunity to grow, but a fixed mindset, it says failure is the limit of my abilities. So for fixed mindset, on the other hand, this is the assumption that personal abilities are fixed. So successes demonstrate current abilities and skills and talents, and that it's just innate and you either have it or you don't, and there's no improving it. So there's perceived inadequacies in performance that lead to the perception that the absence of the ability is also fixed, so that there's no improvements and that nothing can be done in order to improve on these inadequacies. So the fixed mindset also believes that intelligence is fixed, that you can't get smarter. It's either you're smart or you're not. But really, there's things that you can do. There's time, effort, resources, all that you can do in order to improve on intellectual skills. People with a fixed mindset, they are more have a more negative self-confidence, negative self-beliefs, and negative self-esteem. And typically are have less ambitious goals because they're thinking that they can't, there's no point, I don't have the skill, I'm not going to improve. There's no point of me trying or um, trying to do better. And so that kind of leads to more mental health problems than someone with a growth mindset. So if you see in this picture, the comparisons, the growth mindset says failure is opportunity to grow, but fixed mindset says failure is the limit of my abilities. Growth mindset, I can learn to do anything I want, but a fixed mindset says I'm either good at it or I'm not. Growth mindset says challenges help me grow, but a fixed mindset says I don't like to be challenged. I'm inspired by the success of others as a growth mindset, but I'm jealous by the success of others as a fixed mindset. And lastly, growth mindset is I like to try new things, and a fixed mindset is I stick with the old methods. So you can really see the differences between these two mentalities. And a lot of mental health is improving mental health is just having a shift of mentalities and putting in some effort to really give yourself what you need for certain things. Not everything, but some things can be helped and fixed with this. And there's a really interesting TED Talk called The Power of Yet. I would recommend everyone watch this. It really goes into the idea that if you can't do something, instead of having a fixed mindset and saying, oh, I can't do this, you add a yet to the end of that sentence. So, oh, I can't learn how to play guitar. Um, if you just say that because I don't know, I don't have the skills and um I, I'm not good at instruments, that's a fixed mindset. But if you say, "Oh, I don't know how to play guitar yet, but I'm taking classes," that's a more growth mindset where you're putting yourself in a position to be able to learn and grow. So your brain is always going to believe what you tell it. So if you tell yourself, I can do this, then your brain is going to believe that and then you can do it. But if you tell yourself, oh, I can't do this, your brain's going to believe that and then you may not be able to do it because that's what you're telling yourself. So this is a really important one, the growth mindsets. I would look up The Power of Yet TED Talk. It's on YouTube. Okay, so now we're going to go over improving intellectual wellness. So how do we do that? There's many, many ways that we can go about this. You can do reading, obviously if you go into a library or bookstore, there's topics on many different things, on everything. There's always a book about something that you can read and learn. That's the easiest way to go about it. Reading every day, there's a lot of research that shows that reading every day is going to help your intellectual wellness and your mental health and make you happier overall. Journaling, we've discussed this in a couple other workshops. It's a really important one. Journaling, just being able to write your thoughts down, your ideas down, that's really going to help with um, learning what your perspective is and reflecting on someone else's or some experience. There's so many things that you can do with that one. playing brain games, so crossword puzzles or Sudoku, are really good ways to get your brain moving every day. Your brain is just like any other muscle in your body. If you want to work it out, you gotta work it out. And so these are um, ways to do that. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? Experiencing the arts, so this can be drawing, painting, dance, music, museums, trying a new hobby and learning something new so you can take classes. I know everyone is taking classes because you're in school, but it could be classes outside of your major, just something that you're interested in or a skill that you want to improve on. Or you could take online classes, watching documentaries, watching TED Talks, learning a new language. These are all really good ways to just learn something, anything, right? Exercise. So we've talked about in previous workshops that the mind and the body are connected, and the more that move your body physically, that's going to impact your mind as well. So, doing any type of movement. So again, that could be dance, it could be yoga, it could be, I don't know, running, whatever your interest is physically. Traveling is a really good one because you're learning about different countries, you're learning about different types of people, different types of um, cultures, different types of food. You're learning about different perspectives, different languages. So this is a really fun way to improve on your intellectual wellness. Just go travel somewhere you've never been, right? And talk to people. So mindfulness and meditation, we've discussed this a lot in previous workshops, but it can also really help with your intellectual wellness as well, and just being more self-aware of your thoughts and your feelings and what your experiences and all that. And then lastly, discussions and debates. This is a really good way to be able to take in what someone else is saying, a different perspective, as well as being able to express your own and just express your own knowledge and your own ideas. So do it respectfully, but yeah, discussions and debates. So I have this wellness resources guide, and I just found it, or else I would have provided it earlier. But if you scan this QR code, it brings you here um, to this website, and there, as you can see, all the different dimensions of wellness. So if you click on one, so I'll do intellectual wellness, since that's what we're discussing. Um, it gives you a bunch of different resources, um, different books, podcasts that you can listen to about intellectual wellness, TED Talks, different museums that you can go to, other books, joining a book club, etc. And just yeah, just a lot of different information and resources in order to improve on your intellectual wellness. And so they have one for every dimension. I would recommend going through some of these. Okay. Yeah, so these are the on-campus resources that are available. This is just a snapshot of some that I was able to find, but it's really important for intellectual wellness and your mental health to know just what resources are available, what supports are available to you, and just knowing that these are here specifically to help you, so you should use them while you have the opportunity because you may not have um, these resources available after you graduate. So while you have it and while it's already paid for, it's really important to seek it, you know? So I'll just go through some of them. So obviously we have CAPS, there's the Pacific's 24/7 resources, there's different numbers, 24/7 numbers that you can call for a mental health crisis or just to talk to someone. There's the First Gen Hub, First Gen Hub, services, there's CIP, there's TRIO, Pacific Promise Scholars. There's also the Center for Identity and Inclusion. And so this is really cool because they have different spaces for different groups. There's a space for Asian Pacific Islander and Desi students. There's one for Black student services, one for Latinx student services, LGBTQ Resources Center. There's Native American student services, and even lactation lounge for nursing individuals. Um, and so yeah, I would recommend if you're on campus to swing by and look at some of these. Okay, and I'll leave it with just a few things. Just remembering that intellectual wellness is including knowing when you need help and how to seek help. So um, this is really important for mental health because um, you can only improve if you do something about it. And so having that foundation of the knowledge of knowing, okay, I'm not doing well or I need um, more support is going to be really important for getting the support that you need and improving your mental health. You don't need to wait until things are really bad to ask for support. There are a lot of students who had mentioned that they um, don't go seek services because their mental health just wasn't that bad. And you don't need to wait until your mental health is really bad or on the worst end of the spectrum in order to go get help. It's honestly better and easier to go where it's not that bad because then you're in a better position to get on the lower end of the range, right? The more that you understand your options, the more empowered that you are. So just keep exploring. Knowledge is a good wellness tool. Many people don't think about it like that. They think about breathing exercises or yoga, but improving your knowledge is a really good way to improve your mental health. Just remember that knowledge is power and learning it can be liberating. So if you think about any negative situation that you may be in or a loved one may be in, education is going to be the key in order to get you out of that or improve your mental health, improve your quality of life, improve the situations that you're in. So keep learning, keep taking care of your mental health and all the different ways that we're learning. But yep, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. We only have two more workshops after this, so hopefully you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.